about the bubble theory and the Japan ceiling theory. Let's think again about the end of the halving cycle and the ultra-long-term perspective of Bitcoin. Usually, I post these kinds of chats on the membership side, but since it has become a bit of a hot topic in the community, I would like to release it in the general video this time. There have been rumors that a virtual currency bubble will not come. I have put forward several such scenarios on this channel, but the situation has changed since before, so I would like to leave a video of my current thoughts on the current situation. This time, I would like to consider two main scenarios, one where a bubble does not come, and one where a bubble does come, and think about how things will change in the future based on recent movements in each country. First of all, why does everyone think there will be no bubble in the first place? I'm skeptical because the US presidential election, which was expected to be won by Trump, is now looking uncertain, and there is also the existence of AI, which was not present in the previous bubble. Blockchain is not the only field attracting attention, but other fields as well. So there are concerns that funds will not be concentrated in the virtual currency market as they were before. As for the current scenarios I am considering, there are mainly two. First, regarding the scenario where a bubble does not occur, the Fed's interest rate cut is almost certain, so that's good, but then Harris wins the US presidential election and it's already the end. This is a scenario where risk on assets die in general, the halving cycle never comes, the halving myth collapses, and the cryptocurrency market collapses. I've mentioned the end of this halving cycle in previous videos, but the halving bubble so far has been an almost baseless rise. Altos have also skyrocketed just because Bitcoin mining volume is being halved. This is because of expectations that blockchain may change the world, and since the previous halving went up, this time too up until now, we have managed to meet expectations based on the expectation that it would rise. But now there are fields that are expected more than virtual currencies, and if you think about it carefully, there is nothing in the half-life cycle, and now those expectations are fading. So if this half-life cycle does not come, then people who are betting on this half-life cycle in the short term, as well as people who are saving for the long term, because it rises once every 4 years and the bottom price rises, may also withdraw. So, from that point, the collapse of the half-life myth, and the collapse of the entire virtual currency market, this is a scenario. As for the scenario of a bubble coming after that, the Fed cuts interest rates, Trump win, risk on assets rise in general, and with that momentum we enter the halving cycle, and the halving bubble is successfully established this time, and the cryptocurrency market will maintain its hopes for another 4 years. So far, I think this is the same as what is generally whispered about, but I've been thinking a bit about what happens after that. First of all, I've said this a few times, but I think that even if a bubble comes, it will be limited. The things that were expected in the last bubble, like ETFs and countries owning Bitcoin, have already happened, so there's no hope for the next one. There's also the AI market, and there are more alts than ever before. Unlike the last bubble, there are many factors that will disperse funds, so I think that alts and memes with low market capitalizations will record 100 times again and become a hot topic. But I think this will become much rarer than before, and I don't think it will be able to surpass the previous performance. In addition to these, I'm also interested in recent developments in Japan. Since the establishment of a joint venture between SBI and Franklin Templeton, there have been a lot of developments, such as the possibility of an ETF being born in Japan, and the long-awaited 20% tax rate finally being realized in 2025. I think this is a long-awaited development for the Japanese people. I think this will be one of the factors that will cause it to peak. There is still a global impression that Japanese people are suckers, so if Japan gets serious about it, this field will be over. I think there are many people who are investing who think like that. So, even if a bubble comes, I think it is necessary to not be too optimistic and to set a time to escape early. If I only talk about this, it will be all pessimistic, so I would like to talk a little about the long-term future of Bitcoin. In the medium term, if the presidential election is won, there may be ups and downs depending on the loss and halving cycle, but I think that in the long term, Bitcoin is still likely to be chosen as a safe haven for funds. With the realization of the ETF, there is no room for further fundamentals, but on the other hand, the fundamentals have been exhausted, so I personally think that the situation is closer to gold or other resources. Therefore, I think that the focus will be on scarcity in the future. So if there are no accidents with the blockchain, I think that funds will continue to accumulate as the value of each country's legal tender weakens, but this is only for Bitcoin. As for the countless alts and memes that exist now, it's good to bet during a bubble, but it's tough in the long run. It seems like my thoughts on that haven't changed. think I'll need to change my thoughts and positions depending on world movements. I've left my main thoughts here for now. That's about it for today. If you have any comments, I'd appreciate it. If you like it, please subscribe to the channel and click the good button. The original channel provides easy to understand explanations with translations from various countries. Please subscribe to both channels.